guys. Welcome to the Mom Voice. This is Lauren and Sarah with episode 84.
Okay, Lauren, as of today, we are recording on October 15th. We are officially 19 days from the presidential election.
The presidential election of our lifetime.
The
probably.
most important presidential election of our entire lifetime, as we're being told.
Yeah, as we are being told.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Where are you at? Do you know what I mean?
George told me the debates are canceled from here on out. Is that true?
I don't know.
George said that. And I was shocked.
I know one of them was because Trump had COVID, but I don't know. I'm
George
so
said
out
that,
of
like,
it.
and George, well, he has his opinions of why, but just that, yeah, they canceled. And I was like, it really? I don't know if that's a fact, but I actually trust that because he listens to it nonstop. But
yeah, we'll have to check.
I was shocked by that. I'm like, the debates are kind of a crucial element.
Oh, and I love the debates.
Yeah, I think they're super helpful.
I don't know
Did you
why.
watch the vice president one?
I did.
I did
yeah.
not. Did
Yeah.
you? Were you impressed? Good.
I thought it was good.
Yeah?
I thought it was way better than the first presidential
Right.
one. Yeah,
Right.
I thought it was good.
How are you going to vote?
I'm going to try and go in person. Well,
Yeah.
I am going in person.
Yes.
Yeah, I always do. I don't know why. I'm just like lazy about the mail-in thing for some reason,
Catching
and I
the dates
don't
and stuff.
ever like follow through. Or I don't know. So I always go in person.
No, George is pretty insistent that I go in person, just with this election being a little, who knows.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything getting lost or stolen out of the mail or something weird.
Isn't
So
that funny?
I'm going in person as well. And
We have to get
hopefully-
our sticker.
Yeah, got to have the sticker. I think it does make the experience a little more official.
I do too.
And George is like, hey, I can get out of work to do it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Get
I
lunch
totally
with it.
think so. Yeah, no, totally. All right, guys. Well, in this episode, we are going to be talking about friendships for our children, not as adults. We talk a lot about like mom friends and the importance of adult friendships, but today we're going to take a different spin and we're going to actually talk about how we can help our children make friends, make good friends.
Right. And also the influence friends have on our kids and teenagers' lives, especially.
Yeah, because it's major.
Right.
We all know that.
Really, once they kind of hit like ninth grade, they really are with like the teens and their friends and peers probably 75% of the day.
Oh,
with
yeah.
us, even barely a quarter of their day.
And like instantly, your opinion doesn't matter anymore. You have like no influence anymore. Now
Right,
the
and
opinion of their friends
Yep.
is like the rule and all they care about. You know
Isn't
what I
that
mean?
scary? You feel like you really have till they're like 14 to like mold them, and then they're kind of like doing their thing. So, but yeah, we're going to talk all about it and get even into the teen and high school years to kind of elaborate more on that.
I know, because sometimes we kind of neglect those.
I know,
teen
because we're not
moms.
there, but we are, close enough that we have to look ahead too.
Totally. And I feel like I can still very vividly remember my teenage years.
Oh,
And
totally.
be like, put myself in those shoes and what those feelings were.
Oh yeah, even
and all of
today,
it.
driving the kids to school, a Backstreet Boys song came on, and I literally was like, "You guys, this song came out in 7th grade," and I can like literally take me back to exactly where and what I was wearing and all the things. So it's like it is a very vivid, fun, crazy time in their lives.
You mean the Backstreet old men?
Yeah, no, that's so funny that you even say that because he's like, "Are they dead now?" I was like, "What? The Backstreet Boys?" Tristan said that. I was like, no, they're like 45, 50. They're only 10 years older than me. Come on. I was 10. They were 20. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Oh my
I know.
gosh. It's like considered oldies now. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to spend the majority of the time talking all about friendships, and then we will wrap it up with our hits and misses of the week. So let's just dive right in. Let's talk about helping our children make friendships in their early years.
And this is definitely relevant to us right now because as you might have seen on our stories, we've kind of talked about in past episodes, we have started at a new school this week together.
Yeah.
And, well, kind of. Our older kids, some of our kids have been there, but all the kids are in now and accepted. And we're super excited. They're at the same campus. But with anything new and any sort of change comes lots of feelings and in a whole new experience. So we've been thinking about this.
We have,
meeting
yeah.
new kids, having to put themselves out there, making new friends and making good friends.
Yeah. I mean, did you ever, let's like go back in our own stories. Did you ever switch schools?
No.
I didn't either.
I was like K through 12, right in the neighborhood schools, pretty much most of the same kids all the way through. So no,
I never did either. Like the kids I went to preschool with, I graduated with pretty much.
Pretty much. And especially you like in a smaller town.
Yeah.
But even for me, like I grew up in like North Phoenix, and it was just like you kind of went to the corner school and everybody did. And it was great elementary school. And we had a fun, great experience. And then the middle school, and we were middle schools there, not junior highs. It was a middle school, 7th and 8th. And then you went on to high school.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, the only time I feel like I really saw a separation from 8th to 9th grade, a half of my friends went to a private school.
Oh.
And then half of us went to the public high school, but that's really the only time. But so I was comfortable and like knew most of the faces all along the way.
Well, I think that's why we've been struggling a little bit this week and having some feelings of like mom guilt. Are we doing the right thing? Second guessing it.
Of it all.
Yeah. But I have to say,
yeah,
I don't feel like my kids have skipped a beat.
No, and we were saying kids are so resilient.
Yeah.
Like, and we were saying too, it's funny, we feel like at the beginning, these beginning years, every year is like starting all over because they don't know everyone in their grade. They're really with the same 25 kids in their class. And so first, second, even into third, you're still just kind of relearning, making new friends every year. And they just kind of learn those skills. And those are important skills.
Yeah.
I will say, kind of living in this part of town, or maybe it's 2020, it's a thing now. I feel like people jump around though and move around schools or try different things out a lot more today than like they would have back in our time.
Totally.
And I don't know if it's just there's more options. You have just more antsy, demanding parents that want different things. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's probably the perfect storm. People are more informed. People have more options. Some schools cater to other needs more. Out here, we actually have schools that kind of cater to like the musical talents and the art talents and things like that. So I think you definitely have more options than you did 30 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But anyway, okay, well, let's dive right in. So on the article that we're going to kind of be going off of, there is a psychologist who kind of guides the article, and she's a psychology professor at Emory University. And I'm going to kick it off with this quote. She says, "There's good evidence that friends and friendships can have profound effects not only on social and emotional development, but also in domains such as mental health and academic adjustment." So what she goes on to talk about is that friendship is a true necessity for children. If they want to become like a whole rounded, have those social, emotional skills to really function as a, like
successful child.
A well-adjusted adult. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I personally can say, as someone who struggled with mental health in their teenage years, I had such amazing friends, but I saw other kids who had really bad friends who did like kind of drag them down. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that is such the story now when you said like they get to 14, 15 years old, those friendships are like everything.
Yes, they are.
And you just want them to have good friends, don't you?
And yeah, we'll go in more into the teens, but really, my husband and I have talked about multiple times, like the choices they make, the places they are, the people they're with, that's really dependent on their friends and the type of friends they have and the quality that they're a good influence or a bad influence.
Yeah.
Because and they want to do what their friends are doing. They think they trust and like their friends, or this will make my friends like me. So it's always like, it's such the peer pressure hard thing. You really just want them to be surrounded with someone with the same morals and qualities that's going to uplift them instead of, tear them down and make bad choices.
Totally.
That affects everything.
Totally. And I have to say, so I have seen such, okay, let me backtrack. So throughout COVID, I think I've said on the podcast here or there that my daughter is my oldest child. She's about to be 8, and she can have her sassy moments. I think I've said that. Her like natural personality is like the sweetest thing ever. She's my saving grace so many days. We say that about our girls.
Totally.
But so through COVID, like all the months just being at home, I feel like we did really just get in our own groove. Things were chill. Like it wasn't too demanding. I didn't see a lot of attitude. But no joke, like the second she went back to in-person school and was around some friends who I wasn't crazy about the influence they had on her, she came home with the biggest attitude, talking to me so disrespectfully. Like I had to be like, whoa, girlfriend, you are not allowed to talk to me like that. Like the first day back.
Absolutely. Isn't that crazy? I can tell when Evelyn, my daughter specifically, hangs out with certain people because she'll kind of come back with a little bit different of a mood or a mode. And I'm like, girl,
check yourself. Oh my,
calm down. I know you maybe got fired up over there, but whatever.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, to backstory Sarah, what she's meaning, she went back to full-time school a few weeks ago at her old school.
Yeah.
And then we both started a new school this week.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
She's been back with some old friends and back at the prior campus.
Who I have not been crazy about for 2 years.
Right.
Because
so
it's
kind of hence the shift and the change.
It's been her coming home with like playground drama at literally 5 and 6 years old. And I'm like, really? We're dealing with this already?
Right.
You know? And I'm just like, can't you just all be kind to each other? And the one thing, Lauren, that I heard over and over again is, she said she's not going to be my friend if I don't blah, blah, blah.
No.
She's not my friend if blah, blah, blah. I'm scared she's not going to be my friend, Mom. She tells me she doesn't want to be around me anymore and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
no. Well, first of all, I absolutely hate that statement.
I know.
I'm not going to be your friend. And usually it's followed with a if. And if your children say that, please teach them not to say that or talk to them now. Because honestly, I have like nipped that in the bud so fast with my kids because I cannot stand when I hear that from another child. And because usually it's the if. So it's this circumstantial, like, if you don't give me your treat, or if you don't give me the swing, or if you're not going to play my game or my way.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. And I know it's a very common thing with kids, even when they're like 3 and 4, they just, that sentence comes out of their mouth. And I'm like, no. We are always friends.
Yes.
And you can compromise, talk it out, figure it out. We're not ifs. And it's not circumstantial stuff to be my friend. And I hate that, but it is so commonly said.
Oh, I know. And I got to the point last year where I was like, say fine and move on.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Fine. Moving on.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
You can do without that friend.
Totally.
Move on, girlfriend.
It's funny because Evelyn was on the other end. And it's funny because Evie is my most easygoing child.
Yeah.
And she's a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. And probably a little bit to her demise there because she never in her last school, and we had a great experience there, but she never really truly connected really well. Like, never had a best friend, someone she talked about all the time. She kind of just floated around with other girls, and then you got a lot of like kind of comments, this or that. And Evie is like a really mature soul, so I don't know if it was some of that. She just wasn't like relating to them, or if maybe she was like being too reserved, or they were being, I don't know. But that would like broke my heart too, because she just never found that solid friendship. And so I think that's like, and in this article, it talks about how we play a big role in like really solidifying, as parents and moms, solidifying those friendships.
I know. So let's talk about that really quick. So some of the things that they say is, as parents, we need to really, especially in the younger years, so when they're starting off at school and things like that, really play an active role in encouraging them to make friends.
Yeah.
So for example, it's really simple to do, but when they leave for school in the morning, I always say, okay, talk to a new person today. Yeah. Go introduce yourself. Be kind, be loving, whatever. And then funny enough, since your twins and my daughter Kate were starting school late, I was really concerned that she would cling to Evie, cling to your daughter, and not make other friendships.
Right. Oh, totally.
And so I had to have a discussion with her, like, hey, don't just band together with Evie. Like, make sure you meet all the people and
I said the
make
same.
names.
I said, Evie, you bring a friend to lunch and she'll bring a friend to lunch, and you all 4 can hang out and whatever.
So I think it's literally like having little game plans with your children, like just helping to set them up for success of ways they can kind of, and I'm so funny. Even with my kindergartner, I'm like, okay, I want you to say, hi, my name's Landon. What's your name? We like practice it.
Ask the questions. Exactly. But they're so little and they don't get those like social skills. So it's kind of up to us to like teach them how, tell them what your name is. See if they like Power Rangers. Ask them, do they play football? Like, see what they like to do or what you can do on the playground together.
I know. It's so funny, but I think there are so many ways as moms and dads that we can really kind of give them little skills to do it in their early years. And then also kind of taking an interest in checking in with their teacher every now and then. And I don't think that's a bad thing to do. Not being like pushy or invasive, but I would always check in with Kate's teacher just to be like, hey, is everything going okay socially in the classroom?
Oh,
Is there
I
anything
agree.
I need to address as a
Yes.
parent? Is anything going on? Because I know sometimes she can be pushy. She's a firstborn, and she kind of sometimes. And so I like to just do a health check, maybe 3 times a year with the teacher and check in on like those social things,
Right, because she's observing all that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it's like, I agree that it's good to be on the same page.
And I will say last year in the spring, the teacher responded to me and she was like, oh, wow, I'm really glad you asked me this because I do have some concerns about Kate and another girl in the class.
yeah.
And it was who I had already been concerned about,
Interesting,
And so
right.
she was like, I've been encouraging Kate to maybe, make different friends and things like that. She was pretty much reaffirming to me that it's not a good influence.
Yes.
And
Oh,
the
interesting.
two personalities just don't work well together.
Right,
That's what
right,
she was trying to tell
right.
me. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with checking in with the teacher.
Totally.
Look at them as your partner and their eyes on the ground all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Another thing, which we definitely do, you really do it, is invest in extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, you're a queen of this.
You're sweet. I don't
No,
know. I
seriously.
mean, I'm the queen or I'm just crazy. But yeah, no, I do like to have my kids involved in sports, and especially now because we're going to a different school. Like I want him to stay connected. Most of my kids to stay connected with like the neighborhood friends or
Yeah.
the church friends, and so getting them in a football team together or practice together or a sports clinic or something,
Yeah.
dance class. It's always fun.
Yeah,
So-
I think it's a really neat way for them to make friends. Like when I look back on my childhood, some of my like very best friends to this day were all developed at the dance studio, because we
Absolutely.
had that shared passion and things like that. And I know it can kind of be an investment sometimes because you're like, is this all just money down the toilet?
Right.
But it really does help them mold into like a well-rounded.
Well, and I think
You
there's
know?
something to be said, like being on a team
Yeah.
and team effort and working together, or a dance class, a dance team, or whatever. I just think that like skill of working together and
Yeah.
encouraging each other,
Following
and
instruction.
right? Following a leader, a teacher,
Yeah.
and having them also influence them and motivate them to be better and better.
Yeah.
Influence for each other too. So yeah, I totally think it's worth it. It's funny coming again off of COVID, when we have this dry spell and we're all just home and our schedules are canceled and nothing to go to. And there is a beautiful thing about that too, about
Yeah.
having time with your siblings and being home. So it's a fine balance. And as
It
I'm coming
is.
into the fall and back to kind of a little bit more normalcy, I am going to be a little bit more choosy of how we spend our time.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a great thing.
It's a great way to socialize your kids
Yeah.
for sure. And the other way to really do that, especially when they're young, is to host play dates. Or organize play dates. You don't have to
yeah.
host, but this was our lifeline 5 years ago.
Well, play dates for like the toddler years is a
Yes,
lifeline
it
for mom and
is.
child. Like, let's be
Yes.
real. That's the time for both of you to socialize, get out of the house. I think it's your saving grace.
It is. And so if you're not doing, well, again, we're in COVID, but like after you feel comfortable, post COVID, and if you're not doing play dates with those little ones, like do yourself a favor and set something up, like at the park. We would go to Chick-fil-A a lot and let the kids.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess you can't do
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A
still
now.
closed. I know. We actually went today.
Yeah.
After our dentist appointment, the kids wanted to go in. I'm like, it's still
Oh
closed.
my gosh. But wasn't there just something wonderful about just getting out of the house?
Oh, of course. When you
Changing
have
the
toddlers
scenery.
and babies or whatnot. Absolutely. And I think too, to follow that is, I think you take a friendship to the next level. This sounds so silly. We were talking about like second graders, but you do take a friendship kind of to the next level when they come to your home and your mom
Totally.
gets to meet them and you know their name and their face and they get to spend time together at your house with your toys or their house or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do think it does evolve again at that point, a lot of effort because you're like running around with sports. You've had a long day. They've been at school. Like sometimes the last thing you want is like more bodies at your house. But I do think there's something to be said, especially with the school friends, the friends that you only see at school. I think you just build that bond a little bit. And so, because can't you remember riding home you had to go ride home that
Totally.
you took the note and you got to ride home on your friend's bus to their house and play after school. Like
Totally.
you looked forward to it all day. You're like,
Yeah.
I got to go to their house today
Yeah.
after school. Oh my gosh.
I know.
So, I mean, there is something super fun and exciting about that too. And I think
know.
it is really impactful on their friendship.
I totally agree with that. And then one of the other big points that I really think is modeling good behavior
Yeah.
for your child. And so what that means is like showing your child how to be a friend.
Yeah.
And that you have friends and, you know, talking about friendship and how important it is and stuff like that. And I feel like we are very lucky that we have each other from college. And I know that a lot of times people don't have a lot of friends at this stage in life because you just get so busy and the babies and drowning in all of it. I totally get that too. But yeah, just kind of modeling that behavior of caring about friendships, I think.
Absolutely. And yeah, prioritizing that scene. I think our kids are really exposed to it, that we have a lot of friends and a lot of plans. And I think that therefore makes it kind of important to my kids that they have friends and that they spend time. And I can be, oh my gosh, I can be the biggest pushover. When after school, I'm like, no, we're not.
You really are.
I am a pushover. I really am.
You're the fun mom.
No, I'm like, today we're just going to do homework and stay in.
I know.
And next thing I know, it's 6 neighbors are outside or they're in my house or they're there. And I'm just like,
I know.
What happened to just like hanging home today? I
know.
But they like thrive off of it. I guess I can't blame them because I'm very much that way too.
I know. No, totally. I totally agree. And I do think just talking about friendships with your kids is super important. So like at the end of the day, even with your older ones, like Tristan, your 10-year-old, 12, 13, just kind of do a health check. Like, hey, how was school today? Like, who were you hanging around? Who'd you sit with at lunch? Like, just ask some pointed questions.
Yeah. The lunch one, I think, is the big one, especially early on in the year when they're like starting to like get comfortable and meet people.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of want to know where they're at. If they did sit alone, did they have a friend? Did they sit with a bunch of friends? Like,
I'm crazy. I ask such pointed questions. I'm like, so who did you walk next to in the hall? Did you go to the bathroom today? Who'd you go to the bathroom with? Like, I'm asking crazy pointed questions, but I'm like, I want to get a visual in my head of what she's doing.
Yes.
I'm crazy.
It's funny. We at this new school, I've given up the bus stop, and we've talked about that before. And
sad day.
I know.
R.I.P.
I know. Rest in peace. I am still in mourning, very much so. But I will say there is something to be said for those magic 10, 15 minutes in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's when you can kind of pull it out of them and it's fresh and they're like really talking, they're coming off with the energy of school, and this happened, and I saw this person, and they did this, and they said this, and it was funny, and
totally.
And so I haven't had that for a long time because I have had the bus for a few years, and so doing carpool and doing the pickup and stuff again, I'm like,
it's fun.
It kind of is. You kind of get that exposure.
It's worth it.
And I do think, it's worth that time to get those little minutes of talking.
Well, and I remember in my growing up years, I remember hearing a mom somewhere say that the most spiritual talks, like religious discussions that she's had with her children, have been on the ride home from school.
Really?
I remember hearing that and being like, oh, that's interesting. Because the one who said it, they had about a 20-minute drive to and from school.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. I mean, but I can see how that very much happens because it's like fresh problems. You need mom,
fresh
like
emotions.
All of it. Yeah.
Yes. And you're coming off of like a really good day or a rough day or even like academically where things are at. Like, I just think you can pull a lot out of them. So do that. Do your job and ask the questions.
Yes. Ask
Don't
those
sit
questions.
in silence. Don't play the music. Don't let them play on the phone. Like, talk to them.
Totally.
I think that's huge.
And the last way I want to throw out there of things we can do to really help encourage good friendships is make sure the friendships that they have are healthy and good relationships for them. And what that means is kind of going back to like Kate, the story I said, like, did they come home more improved and like better, or are they picking up like bad traits,
bad habits,
becoming too materialistic or becoming like, too catty or whatever,
or
like because
sassy and all the things.
Yeah, because I think we've definitely seen that. And then I don't know, I think it's just a personal decision there of like how you navigate that and move away from those friendships. I don't really know, because you don't ever want to like not be someone's friend.
Of course. And you want to teach people to be kind to others.
Absolutely.
You want to be that influence of kindness, not, I'm too good for you.
Right.
Or I'm not going to hang out with you.
But then at the same time, you need to know your worth and you need to know what you deserve and how you deserve to be treated, and that it's okay if you're not best friends with that person. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I do think, again, that involves kind of a lot of work from moms to be tuned in and paying attention. But I do think, especially as you dive into these teen years, it's kind of crucial. Because like I said earlier in the episode, I just really feel that friends will make or break it for you on the choices you make. I mean, talking about drinking and drugs or smoking, any of that crap.
Sex.
Yep. If kids are, being abstinent and safe or not, and those huge choices, but also just like to bullies or
self-confidence,
how you treat people or insecurities.
All of it.
Those are, and in those teen years, you just like, it's so crucial and you just want to scoop them up and make them all happy and safe. But I do feel like the friends and the impact that those friends have on in those years are just so crucial. So it's like picking up, noticing, listening to who they're with and how they're behaving with those people.
I totally agree. And funny enough, I feel like I was just blessed with a really good group of friends.
Yeah.
Like my whole grade level, they were all Christian kids. We weren't of the same religion, but we were all of the same moral character, for lack of better words.
Right.
Boys and girls. Like, yeah, we had our little boyfriends and girlfriends, but like, I wasn't really aware of anybody doing crazy drinking or drugs or like whatever. We lived for Friday night football and we did all the things. But then my brother's grade level, whole other story. Like the friends there, it just like wasn't as wholesome as my friendships.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
And so it really had a serious impact on his life. I have to say.
On his path.
And it really is just like the hand he was dealt. And I feel like we do have to deal with that to some degree. Like you are just kind of dealt a hand of friends at school.
In high school,
you don't know what you're getting.
Yes.
Like you really don't.
Who you're surrounded, who you live by. It's not really. But also you can take it into your own hands and maybe move schools or maybe move those options. That's a big, like the big extreme. But I mean, again, being like at least aware of what's going on, you can at least assess that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's necessary. Like if we're talking extreme measures, like really, this is not, my kid's going south real fast. Like we've got to make changes.
And I do think today, in parenting today, more than ever, you can't just sit back. Like, no. You have to be involved. You have to be a step ahead.
Social media,
gosh,
the vaping and the new things that are out for teens that the movies, the Netflix availability and all the shows. I mean, all the things that they're exposed to, we have to be.
You can't just hide your head in the sand anymore or just be like, okay, they're off and they're doing their thing.
Oh, they're with their church friends. They're fine. No, it's not that easy anymore.
It is not that easy. No. And you have to be very involved. And if anything, I just want my children, I want them to know that like their best friends are here in this house.
Of course.
You know what I mean? The people they can always trust. The people they know love them unconditionally. At the end of the day, like we are here for each other. And that's what it is really about. You know what I mean? And so I know, I just feel like there's such a pressure on us that can sometimes be a little overwhelming for my anxiety-ridden brain. But I just think we have to be always a step ahead.
Well, and it's funny because I like keep laughing at myself because I tell Sarah all the time that this choice to move to a different school like affects a lot. And I'm already jumping ahead to high school. And everyone's like, calm down, Lauren. Yeah. He's in 5th grade. Yeah. But I like think ahead to like, okay, 9th grade's not that far. And who is he going to be with? And what teams is he going to play for? And what does this mean? Because I do think it kind of is stepping stones.
Yeah.
And the kind of friends, I mean, I had friends from 5th grade that I was still friends with in high school. And it's like, it does kind of all play a part into the future. And I just want to put him in the best spot possible to make him succeed, as any mom does. Yeah. And so that's why I get so much in my head and I stress. But when reading this article about teens, it kind of was talking about how, we don't set up play dates per se. They kind of have their own social agenda at that point. And really when they get to 16, they have that flexibility and they can go and have fun and check in with you or have curfews and stuff, but they really make their own plans. And again, having the right quality of friends affects that. And I think also, which is like something that's going to be interesting and hard, but good for me, is having the kids at your house and like opening your doors and wanting your space and your place to be a place they want to go. Yes. And they want to go hang out at Tristan's house and they want to go swim and have a movie and the fun friends and the girls are going over there. Let's all go and, whatever. And sometimes that's hard for me.
Oh, it's so hard.
The last thing I want after a crazy day on 7:30 on a Friday night is 10 kids over at my house hanging out till 11 o'clock.
Eating all your food.
Eating all my food.
And making a terrible mess.
Yes, and loud. And George and I just want to watch a movie in bed. Yeah. Right? I can't even think about it ahead. Like, that's just crazy to me.
I know.
But I know there's no place you'd rather have your kids than happy and safe at your home.
Yeah.
And nonetheless having fun and knowing their friends want to be there. So it's like, again, a stepping stone to make your house the haven and the fun place.
Welcoming place.
A welcoming place if their friends want to come. And I even struggle with that to this day. Like some days I'm like, nope, go outside. I don't know. And I can be the grouchy, and I really just have to get over it because I want them
Take
to
a chill
come.
pill, Lauren.
I want them to come, and they need to come, and that's like a really important
20
thing.
years from now, you're going to have only quiet days.
I know.
Okay? And you'll be missing the noisy children.
I know.
That's what everybody keeps telling me. You're going to miss these days.
I know.
No, I know. It's so crazy to think about. But I don't mind it because when I have children over, my kids are easy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me.
They entertain each other sometimes. I guess I just like deal with the aftermath a little bit of the mess, and I don't know. But no, I know. It keeps my kids happy.
So just to kind of wrap up the discussion, the article that I was reading from the professor, she has a quote that says, parents can provide an important sounding board for children to talk about their friendships and especially their inevitable friendship challenges, because those days are coming. We know that. The challenges of friendships, and I'm talking more teenage years, they're become, especially today, there's some complex issues that develop with social media and with phones and dating. And like, there's a lot of challenges probably coming at the teens these days. And I think it's got to be a fine line because you want to be the sounding board for your child and you do want them to know they can tell you everything. But then how do you also be a stern, like, how do you also enforce some boundaries?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's a fine line.
Absolutely.
Like, think about the birth control discussion or any of those really big talks of my best friend is having sex with her boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you navigate that as an adult?
I know.
As a parent? I don't know.
I do think, again, it starts when they're really young and having that kind of sense of, standard and morals probably in the home and hopefully where the direction they're going to choose to go. I mean, it's crazy. I grew up and there was not many people of my faith in my high school, and I was like kind of different, and a lot of people knew that. But I can truly say I wasn't around alcohol or drugs. Like, I'd hear stories about kids hooking up and stuff. None of my direct friends were.
And you dated the quarterback.
And I
you
dated
were the
quarterback, and I did, and I was a cheerleader. But yet I really set the tone for my high school experience, and yet I loved high school. Mind you, I loved it. I loved it. I know a lot of people didn't have a good experience or hate it, and it's like dog eat dog, and I get that. But I loved it. I was really super involved. I tried to make lots of friends. I just had a really fun experience. Yeah. But yet I can look back, and I could say the same for ASU. Yeah. Arizona State, who is a big known to be a party school. Totally. It's a huge school. Yeah. But I don't think I ever came across alcohol because I didn't drink. I'm not a drinker. I didn't drink. I don't drink. Yeah. Because I didn't put myself around that. So I think
you find your scene.
You find your scene and you find yourself, and you really have to set your tone. And I think, like you said, those discussions of abstinence and those big lifelong choices. I mean, those are choices that have long-term effects. Yeah. It really comes from within, I feel like. And that starts now. Yeah. I mean, you're molding your children right now. Because like I said, by the time they go to high school, between sports practice and a hour before school and the whole day and then homework, you literally get to spend 30 minutes a day with your kid. I'm not kidding.
And at that
that's
point,
wild.
At that age, it has to be their idea. Because if it's your idea, it doesn't. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
they don't want to hear
reverse psychology playing into it.
True.
And that they know those things are already ingrained in them. It's just them finding it and bringing it out themselves. Totally. And you're just that tool to be like, well, what do you think?
Reminder.
Ask those right questions. Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah. No, I know. And something that my husband and I talk about a lot, well, not a lot, but here and there, is with parenting today, I think you can't just tell your children, don't do that. You have to go the extra step and explain why.
Understand.
Really give them the full scenario of what this choice means. And I was in your shoes before. I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? And so I know what we're saying here is it just takes a lot of freaking work,
It
Lauren.
does take a lot of work. And I will say too, crazy enough, in these elementary years, they're learning the skills that they're gonna take on into those teens and
They
even when they're
are.
out of your home, which is just wild. And what's wild for me is because I have 4 kids in 5 years. So when I hit that high school year, like even when Tristan's like a sophomore, man, that's going to fly for me because I'm going to have 4 spouting off in 5 years, all through high school. And my high school experience is going to be crammed into like only a few years.
Mine
and
will
they're
too.
all going to be out of the house. And it's going to be a wild time. It's going to be a really fun time. Like, I really hope that I can like step back and enjoy that because there is such, oh my gosh, it's so much excitement with the first prom and the football games and driving and all the things.
The kisses.
Scary
and the
too.
dates.
It's
Yes,
crazy.
I know.
So, I
All
mean,
right. Well, that's our friendship
I know.
talk.
Yes.
It's important. And I'm sure a lot of you have experiences to share and like guidance and
I know.
inspiration to share. So reach out to us on Instagram and share your stories if you're wanting to. We would love to hear.
And you're probably already in this. And so hopefully this is just like a good like reminder. Like the days get busy and they're long. Just maybe ask an extra question today and just see how they're feeling about this or whatnot. Or a teenager, you know, maybe take them for a soda and get something out of them.
Going back to our episode with Shawnee Pothier about deliberate parenting.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to that one yet, go back and listen to it because Shawnee talks about how with each of her children every month, she would take them to lunch. She would pull them out of school, take them for lunch and just do a health check on,
and I love that.
on how they're doing, how school's going. And she kept a binder and she would take notes and like look back from month to month and see what's going on in their life. I loved that idea.
I loved that too.
And
that's something that can start now.
Yeah.
What a fun little like tradition. Like every first Monday of the month, I get to go to lunch with my mom out of school. Like I think that I have 4, so maybe one a week per Monday.
Right.
But like that's like so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something you'll always remember.
So cute. For you too.
Oh yeah.
Time with your children. I love that. Okay, well let's dive into our hits and misses of the week. What was your hit, Lauren?
So my hit this week is fall break. I think fall break was like a big accomplishment because it was really fun. And I think we just kind of obviously needed the refresher from a crazy few months. I mean, we've had a little bit of fun along the way here, but we got to go to California for the week and more than half the week George was gone. So I was doing it solo.
Oh my gosh.
But the kids did great. And I will say it's like probably one of our more successful trips.
Oh, good.
My kids just I felt like they were really like positive and easy and like they were grateful for, you know, and appreciative to things. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I came back from that trip feeling actually refreshed. And like, that was fun. And I'm not like burnt out and just get me to school. I'm just over it today. You know what I mean? Type thing. It was a good trip.
And doesn't that make all the difference when your children are grateful? Like I would do anything for my children. Like it's such a game changer when they're grateful to me.
Totally. No, I totally agree.
They need to figure out the game and do that more.
I literally like spell it out for them. I'm like, all you have to do is do what I ask you to do here and there and say thank you. Like, and you pretty much can have whatever you want.
I know,
but
right?
it's like, but that still can be like, you know,
still too
challenged
hard.
too much sometimes. Like, all I asked you to do is hang up your backpack, wash your hands. Like, don't like not walk away.
Right.
Do it.
Right. I know. Flush the toilet. The basics
it's like
here.
Not this hard.
Oh my gosh, I know. Okay, well, my hit is kind of a big milestone. I'm excited, Lauren. My daughter Kate finished her first chapter book this week.
Good.
And it was a huge deal. It was so cute because we put our kids to bed at like 7:15, you know, whatever. And lately, because she's turning 8, like she's not necessarily super tired at that time.
Sure.
So I've told her, okay, just stay in your room, read a book, whatever. And so she's been reading every night, which is the cutest of her. And so one night this week, she came and found me at like 8:30. She'd been up a while and she's like, Mom, I finished my book. I finished it. She was so excited.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So it was called Miss Daisy is Crazy.
Oh, cute.
And she told me all about Miss Daisy being crazy and it was super cute. And so that was a big win for me.
That is awesome.
All
that is
I
a
want
big accomplishment.
is for my children to like to read.
Oh, and that's going to be very hard to get.
I
just
know,
so you know.
because
that's
I
all
hate to
want,
read
too.
I hate it. I hate
my
to
kids,
read.
my boys especially. I don't know what is so hard.
I know.
I wish.
It's a struggle.
It is.
Because I feel like it's got so many benefits and I need to be better about it. But yeah, so we'll see. That was a good hit.
Good one.
Okay, what was your miss?
My miss was yesterday we got a text. I got a text and a friend who happened to be on a walk, didn't even live on my by me, said Gus is out.
Oh,
and
no.
I go, oh my gosh. And so I ran outside and she's like, I tried to stop him, but he ran away. And so I was like, okay, thank you like so much for texting me. It was just by chance she was walking like her stroller.
Are you for real?
So yeah. So I ran inside, Tristan, hurry, get your bike. And I like shot him. I'm like, go that way. And I was like, oh, should I get in the car? What will be like most effective? Not by foot, probably. So I jump in the car. I start the car. I'm trying to back out of my driveway. And then all of a sudden I see Gus darting this way into the cul-de-sac.
No
like
way.
Full speed. And I had kicked some of the neighbor kids out at that point. I'm like, guys, you got to go. I got to go find the dog.
Yeah.
So they're crossing the streets and Gus like comes and runs across and is not chasing, but running after the kids. And so I was like, oh my gosh, there's Gus. And I'm like, Emmett, hurry, help me.
Oh my gosh.
It was just kind of crazy. So we finally like got the leash, got him kind of cornered and we tied him down, not tied him down, but got him on the leash. And, thank goodness, because I honestly I said to George, if our friend hadn't texted us at that moment, I first of all don't even know how long he was out.
Oh
what if
my
he had been wandering
gosh.
in the yard for 30 minutes at that point? And secondly, if she didn't see him, he could have had hours on us before
Oh
we
my
noticed he
gosh.
was gone.
And
then
what was your feeling when Gus was lost? Be honest.
George is going to be devastated. Like
Really?
I thought about George.
Yeah.
He was going to be mad at me and he's going to be so upset. And no, we found him pretty quick, actually. He must have ran back. But Jenny, my friend, said he had like darted down the road. So who knows where he was going to head. So then he came back, was in at least the cul-de-sac where I could see where he was at. Then it was just like tackling him.
Yeah.
And once I called him, he actually kind of like obeyed fairly well. He didn't like make me run crazy.
Gus.
So I know, but that is the first time that's ever happened. Emmett and a neighbor friend went through the back gate, which they never do. And it just kind of bounced. And so it was like not closed. And so he just pushed it open and ran out.
Oh my gosh.
That happened once when he was a puppy. I can remember that. And he was in our neighbor across the street's yard in the flowers. And again, thank goodness we saw it happen.
Gus.
Again, they just could like run,
Oh,
and then
George
they're goners.
would be devastated.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, my miss of the week happened yesterday, actually. And so I told you a few episodes back, like Luke has kind of been having trouble every now and then peeing in his bed. Like it doesn't happen a lot, maybe like twice a month. Okay. Yesterday was one of those mornings and I didn't sleep well the night before. And I woke up to his entire bed being soaked with pee.
Oh, wow.
All over him. And I literally, Lauren, I stripped him down and I brought him into bed with me. And then mom fell of the week. I left the pee in there for like until nighttime. I totally spaced it until I go to put him to bed the next night.
No.
And like, it's still soaked with pee. And I'm like, gross. I suck at life.
No.
How did I not get this clean?
That's the worst.
No,
right.
It was disgusting. And so I had to like strip the bed and just put a blanket down pretty much,
Yes.
like a clean blanket. But I was like, dude, come on, Sarah. You're better than this.
No,
You could clean the
are.
pee.
It's okay. No, but there is some truth to that. Or the worst is when like they're a little bit older and they're not. He's in a crib, right? You said that,
Yeah,
right?
he's still in his crib. Yeah.
Or like the worst when like they take off their underwear and they like leave it somewhere and then they come and get you. They change. Like usually my kids would like change your underwear and they'd be like, oh, I peed in the bed, and then I'd like let them sleep with me or get a wipe and wipe them down.
Yeah.
And then it's like the next day or night you find the underwear,
mystery
and I
underwear?
was like, oh my gosh, or it like gets on the car. It depends where it is, in the bed or the carpet. I like rage.
And
I'm
at
like,
that point, do
"No!"
you throw the underwear away or do you try and salvage it? I'm not going to lie. I have probably thrown away 10 pair of underwear.
I will throw them away with like a poop thing.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
and that was like rare, but if I had some sort of accident like that, I just don't even care.
Absolutely.
Goodbye. Underwear, I don't know. It depends if I like the underwear.
Yeah, totally. It's the exact same scenario with like the mystery sippy cup.
Oh.
Don't open the sippy cup.
Don't open. Or let's be real, even in the kids like Tupperware lunch, like if I put like a lunch thing in like a Tupperware and then it's like a weekend,
It's gnarly.
and then it's like Monday or Tuesday by the time we pack it again, I'm like,
Throw it
"Ugh."
away.
I'm just like such a lazy
You're
bum.
gonna
I
get
throw it away.
infected by some mold. Don't
I'm
even
like,
go
I'm
there.
just tossing this.
Yeah,
what
it's
was
horrible.
even in this? Like, ketchup, like, I don't even know. Ew.
Ew is right. Oh man, being mom is such ew.
I know,
That's
such an
the one
adventure,
word.
which you're going to find.
I know, it's so true. All right, well, that will do us for this episode. We are so happy you're here. Thanks for joining us. We have new content every Monday, and we've really been tossing around the idea of kicking out like a Thursday episode.
Yeah.
We're trying, guys.
Yeah, Thursday, and it would maybe be like pop culture, TV talk.
Yeah.
Bachelorette started this week.
You know, we can talk our faces off about pop culture.
Oh, totally.
We
Big
love
Brother's wrapping up this month.
Yeah, it is. It's so good.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think about that. You can find us on Instagram at
The Mom Voice Podcast.
And if you're wanting to, you can shoot us an email at themomvoicepodcast@gmail.com. We have some fun guests lined up for November.
Yeah, November's going to be a really exciting month.
It is. So stay tuned for that and make sure you're subscribed for all the updates. Anything else, Lauren?
No, that will do it.
Okay, guys. Hope you have a great day. We will see you next week.
Take care of each other.
Bye-bye.